Hello, Orville Nation and Nerd TV. Welcome, everybody. We have an amazing show tonight. And let me just do one thing here real quick. And yeah, we did episode 7. Wasn't that fun? Episode 7. She's one of them now. Wow. Directed by Jason Priestley, written by Lauren Bancroft Wilson. 3 gets to eat enemy cookies. 5 tries transfer transit for the first time. And we get the evil version of Rodney McKay back on the show. Isn't that fun? Awesome, guys. All right. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Jeff Beeler. So many fandoms. She's all over the place. Time Prophet, welcome. Susanna. Who else is in here? Keely Chow, good to see you, Keely. Rob, good to see you, Rob. Corrine, good to see you, Louise. Everybody who is in here. Peggy, we're going to show something of Peggy. It's going to be really cool. And before we do that, and before I bring in the ladies, I am going to do something really quick. You don't have a wrench yet? Okay, I'll take care of that. Okay, Katie doesn't have a wrench yet. My bad. And hello, E. Clay Thomason. Excuse me. I do want to show, let's see. We have something, and I've been trying to locate it, and I think I've got it. Here we go. As you guys know, Gap Stargate. We have a lot of creativity in our audience. We're going to show something from Peggy today. Very, very creative. We got Matt Ryan, who builds weapons. I guess he's going to have to get started on a Suji weapon soon. We'll ask Joe if a Suji weapon should be in the works or not. Gap Stargate has done some awesome promos. And Gap Stargate is going to be launching his channel real soon. Like Corrine, by the way, she's also going to be launching a channel. And I want to just go ahead. We're going to show one possible intro to Gap Stargate per week. And what Gap is doing, he has 6. I think it's 6 possible intros to his channel. And he wants you guys. He wants all of us to go vote which one we like best. So without, you know what? Let's play the audio. Make sure you guys can see this. And really quick, we're going to show his Gap's promo. So this is the promo for one of the promos. And we will show all 6 of them. And we're going to show one today. And he'll give us more information about how ready he is. So check this one out for Gap Stargate's upcoming YouTube channel. Very cool. So it's called the Big EG Show. The Big EG Show. And these are his intro / promo. And I like this wormhole one. It's very Stargate. Awesome, Gap Stargate. Guys, make sure you're following Gap on Twitter. And tell him which one you like best. Go through all of them. And make sure you tell him which one you like best. Okay. Let's get started. Let's bring in exometeorologist. We should call her an exometeorologist now. Katie Nicolau. Hello, Katie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Oh, great to see you too. I'm psyched to talk about this week's episode.
I'm so glad you got out of ICE jail.
Yes, I got out of ICE jail. I escaped, and I am very cold because of it. I should have worn snow pants.
You weren't wearing snow pants. Okay.
Oh no, that was just jeans, and they were soaked. Oh, it was bad.
And maybe we'll show that later. We'll pop it up on the screen one
Yeah.
sec. That was you looked adorable.
Oh,
You look like a 5-year-old. You look like a little
felt
kid.
like it. I had one of my coworkers drive up while I was just plucking these icicles off of the roof, and she just looked at me and was like, "What are you doing?"
So tell us really quick what's new on So Many Fandoms.
Yes, so actually I have a couple of things, which is unique for my channel. I'm working on my Doctor Who fandom forecast. We're just trying to work around the whole COVID rules and everything, but we're trying to get that done. I have a Star Trek video that I'm editing, and it should be up here this week. It's pretty awesome. I've been working on it for over a year and just on and off, and it looks great. And on Saturday, I finally got two of my friends who have going for their master's degrees to join me for a Chasers Chronicle, where we're going to talk about some of the craziest stuff that's happened while we've been chasing storms, like almost getting arrested or almost being blown up and all that stuff. So if you want to just hear some college-age kids rambling about how we've almost died, it'd be fantastic if you joined.
Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds exciting.
Heck yeah.
And remind everybody, guys, go to Gap's Stargate's Twitter, and I will put it up real quick, and vote. Tell him which one you like best. And those are an awesome promos, Gap. Let's bring in Adega, Dr. Adega. Hello, Dr. Adega.
Hello.
How are you? What's up in Adega world?
I'm still laughing at seeing Katie in Jack Frost's little prison. You got too much time on your hands at work.
Oh, and I bring other people into it too. It took 3 of us to get it to stand up properly. I'm a bad employee.
What's up here? I should be finished with the promised move that's been upcoming this week, and hopefully I will have my camera up and running for the next show next week, which I thought I was going to miss, but everything's going pretty quick and pretty well. And hello, everybody in chat. I saw several people saying hi. Thank you very much. Hello back.
Awesome. And we have Nina's going to be joining us in a little bit. And of course, we have Joseph Malazzi. And before we bring Joe on, I just want to say, I was telling him backstage, I was watching part of season 9 of Stargate. And now that we go through these episodes with Joe, and now that I go back and watch like Stargate episodes and you can see Joe's writing, and it's so intricate, and it's such a freaking pleasure. Everybody give a nice warm welcome to Joseph Malazzi. Hello, Joe.
Hello, PJ. Thank you. You're too kind. Actually, you're mentioning Ripple Effect as the one you watched. And that's actually one of my favorite episodes. It was a lot of fun just because you got to play, with so many alternate universe versions of our crew. And I love the alternate universe storylines.
It was also very emotional because you brought back like several characters who had died.
Tooth and Dr. Fraser. Yeah. So that's what I love to do, like mixed humor, little pathos and pathos. Pathos?
Evil universes.
Potato.
Yeah.
And I did see a comment here about what was it? The comment about a Suji battlesuit.
Oh yeah. She would love one. She would love to wade into battle against the other dogs in the dog park.
And before we get started, I really I mentioned that we wanted to show something that Peggy paints. Peggy Oaks, she's in the chat, and I did want to show something she had shared with us, and I think it definitely had to be shared. What's that? What's that, Katie? You just shared.
Oh, Peggy gave me a painting.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Oh, the TARDIS.
I've been keeping it right on the shelf for any eagle-eyed viewers.
Yeah, I love that TARDIS painting of hers. And we're going to show something that she showed us a Stargate painting she just finished, and we have to show Joseph. So, and it's beautiful. Actually, I love it. It's beautiful. Here we go.
Wow. It's like something out of the episode Time. No, actually, no. That's more of an SG-1 gate, I guess.
It glows in the dark.
Amazing.
Well, the jungle does remind me of Time, though.
Yeah. It's got the DHD there. Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
It's beautiful, Peggy. It's really we're gonna do an art stream, by the way, at some point. And I wanted to include several people who paint. including we're also gonna see if Simone and Corin want to be a that part of that auction. We're gonna try to do maybe an online auction. Should be interesting. So Peggy's going to be involved in that once we get things organized. Thank you, Peggy. That is amazing. Wow, beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's see, Joe. Did you want to say anything before we begin?
Yeah, I'm going to preface this by saying I rewatched all the episodes prior to actually coming on the show, and to be honest with you, it's the first time I actually sit down and watch them clean, because when I'm in production, I will watch director's cuts and I'll watch dailies. I'll watch the mixes, but I don't really get to see the finished episode. And I'm saying that over the course of season 1, there were like instances where I would be like, I wish we'd done this or we tweaked that or done this. And then as sort of we get into the latter half of season 1 and into season 2, especially there was that really nice run where I was like, wow, these episodes turned out even better than I remember. And then we got to this episode, and I have to say, conceptually, the idea is great, but there were instances where I was like, I was kind of left shaking my head just because I thought, just overall, I think this episode for me was probably the low point of the series. For a number of reasons, but I mean, we'll go through it as we go through the episodes. But just to correct you, PJ, Lauren Bancroft Wilson did not write this episode. Lauren Bancroft Wilson, I think, wrote a later episode.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But Katie, I'm curious to hear your reaction.
Yes.
This episode.
Hey, before Katie, you go, let me just welcome Nina.
Hey, Nina, how goes?
I'm sorry I'm late, you guys, but I made it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Just in time to hear me talk about the nurse.
Hello.
Do tell.
Yeah, Joe. Why'd you have to do him like that? The second he walked into that room alone, I was like, he's gonna kill him. He's going to kill him. I turn and look at Radar, my cat. I'm like, he's going to kill him.
Well, don't you feel bad now judging him earlier and criticizing him?
No, I don't feel bad at all.
Judge him too harshly.
You know why?
I always had that nice like to him.
You know why I don't judge him? Because he said before that thing happened with a 12-year-old girl that he was already a drug addict. So, and you didn't explain why he was a drug addict at all, like from his younger days, like if he had childhood abuse or something like that. He was just like that, and then he used even that as an excuse to be like, I'm such a victim, I need to do more drugs. So I was like, no.
I disagree that he basically used as an excuse. I think he was essentially explaining to Nick's kind of his situation and the source of his pain.
But it wasn't the source. He was pain before because he was doing drugs before then. He was high at the surgery.
Yes, but you don't know why he was doing those drugs beforehand. He's basically self-medicating now, fixated on what happened with
right.
See, I was very...
If he wasn't high, she wouldn't have died.
But ultimately, this is why Katie, you were asking sort of what's the deal with him, and his passing is sad on like many levels. One is he essentially sacrifices himself for the crew by facing when he faces down the Seers. But
good point.
Even sadder is the fact that the crew will never know.
Yeah.
The crew doesn't know.
That is sad.
Yes.
You had to add that on too, huh? No.
Now this is something I briefly one time or maybe a couple times I talked with Joe about and this is why I love the way he writes, and this isn't fanning, this is just because I try and do similar, where instead of writing a 2,000-page book about everyone's backstory, all the details, the history of the universe, you leave things out in the air for people to fill in the gaps or to leave them as mysteries. Assume that the people are intelligent enough to understand that we don't need to know the whole thing. Mm-hmm. We don't need to know why he was taking drugs, when he started taking drugs. Other than that, we just know that he had a sad life. He came and he left.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, if he was a series regular, presumably we would have gotten to know that backstory. But he was more sort of a character who, and kind of also the point is, it's like, even though they are a beloved crew, it's like those who come near them, bad things happen to them.
Aww.
And he's an example of kind of a
collateral
an
damage.
Individual. Yeah.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Sad.
Well, you could think of all the people that bunked on the ship. There was that one group where they did the op with together on the first episode. They're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Various other people that came on and bunked in the ship, they're gone.
Mm-hmm. We need a running death toll of companions. Yeah.
Next episode's going to be real interesting.
Yeah. I just said to Katie, without giving anything away, that next episode is actually one of my favorite episodes of season 3.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's not the favorite. I think it's my favorite episode.
Oh, amazing.
Of season 2.
Yeah. 2, right, yes. 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we started, I was talking about sort of some of the things that, I will rewatch an episode and it'll bring back memories of the production. So for a fan or viewer watching the show for the first or second time, they may think that, this is, they won't think twice about it. For me, this opening really annoys me because this wasn't the opening I had planned. But as a result of notes, I ended up having to shift the tease, and it's so frenzied and over the top that it just, it instantly put me in a bad mood, I have to say, as I was sitting down to watch it, because I remembered having to change this tease and changing it to this kind of really silly, over the top sequence. It just, it still does not sit well with me.
Really? So
yes.
What was the opening scene that you had?
The opening scene was I don't really recall, but it's basically just Tabor talking to a client and doing his Tabor thing to get him on board, and then someone buzzes the door and he's like, yeah, hold on, opens the door and it's 2, and she clocks him, and that's the out. So there's no whatever, vases being thrown and this crazed looking guy chasing him around and then 2 coming in and throwing the guy out and anyways. So
the guy's eyes were bugging.
Yes.
We noticed, we did notice his eyes.
There.
Yes.
We noticed his eyes.
To me, it almost felt like a completely different show.
Looney Tunes.
It did.
Yes. For me, the opening. But again, that's just me, because maybe I'm too close to the material.
I know it. I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I especially like the closing scene of right before the credit where he's like, "Oh, thanks, Portia," and she's like, "Yeah, and she just punches.
Yes, yes.
That was great.
Yeah, that was essentially what I saved from the original version. I mentioned last week that there were 2 moments that I love though about this episode. Well, 3 is one kind of we'll mention when we'll get to it. But I'm curious if you will guess what they are. One is actually scripted. The other one was an unscripted moment from one of the cast. It's such a small little thing that I just absolutely love. But we'll get to that.
Oh, we're going to guess it? Can I guess it?
You can try to guess, but I don't think you'll get it.
Was it when the android said, "It's really tight"?
I was going to guess that one too.
Snug.
That was
Snug,
scripted.
yeah.
That was scripted.
Oh,
The second one, like
Yes,
really,
that was scripted as well.
Oh my God.
But I mean, Zoe and Anthony are great, especially kind of the look she throws, and then the look he kind of throws to follow her look down. And
I
then,
thought maybe the
Amazing.
second one wasn't scripted.
no, those were both scripted.
Okay. Okay, I have to think about this.
Cookies wasn't scripted.
What?
Or Cookies was scripted.
That's actually the moment. Where
Aha.
basically, well, the second moment. There's the scene where Five sits down beside at the computer. And she's like, she's gonna get to work, and Three's like, "What can we do? Can we do anything for you?" And she's like, "Hand me those cookies." And they hand her the cookies, and she takes a bite, and she goes to go to work, and then she takes a look at the cookie like, "Shit, this is good," and takes another bite, and then keeps working. It's that second bite. It's such a small thing, but the look she throws the cookie, I just absolutely loved. That was all Jordell.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Good job at
It was like
Vega.
a dialogue
Yeah.
thing.
Sorry.
And she could also be thinking, and these don't put any calories on me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like it was a dialogue thing.
No, it was that. Yeah, it was a small thing, but I just for some reason I just love it. Every time I see it, it just I'm filled with delight.
Oh, I like that too. See, I thought that was like a direction situation because I like that scene a lot too. I was like, that's so funny that she like looks at it. It's like, she's like eating it again. It was good.
Like a part of my brain was like, oh gosh, he poisoned the cookies, didn't he? Or like something like that. Like, oh, what's wrong with the cookie? No, it's fine. It is a cookie.
That's funny.
This show's giving me trust issues.
There.
I need to put that on a t-shirt.
Oh my God. That's
I'm looking for the
hilarious.
exact picture that Joe's talking about since we jumped ahead, but here's a related picture.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Have a
God.
cookie for.
Yeah.
Was that scripted?
The him offering the cookie.
Yeah.
No, that was like a bit of business with Anthony.
Oh, that's cool too. Because I actually thought this scene might be one of those, like when he offers for the cookie.
Yeah, no, actually that was improv on Anthony and Alex's part.
It would have been funnier if he took the cookie.
Yes. By the way, I ended up exchanging texts with Alex Mallory Jr. this morning. He is been very busy shooting a bunch of stuff. There's a Netflix show called Ginny and George that he's in and has a Texan accent in. That's going to be premiering soon. He's doing like a bunch of movies. But I did tell him that we're going to circle back because there was a very key episode later this season I really want him to guess on. So hopefully we can get him for.
Oh my God.
I think you know the episode. You've seen this season, yeah.
I hate it.
And before I let these go by, John Burns, thank you. Like in Hercules, the legendary journeys, but wherever there was evil, wherever an innocent would suffer, there would be Hercules meets the Raza. Oh.
That's what I get like with 6. His vibe is more like, you know what, let's just go help.
Yeah.
That's totally, that's what I would do.
And thank you, John Burns, for the Canadian $5. Thank you, John Burns. We appreciate your support and your comments and your participation. John is obviously a big fan of this show. Thank you.
Awesome. When you said Canadian $5, I thought in my brain for half a second, what makes it so different? Are they smiling instead?
They're more polite than we are.
They just look happier.
More colorful. Anyways.
Yeah.
Colorful.
Colorful money.
Yeah.
I want that.
So we see that John, I want to ask you before we get going, and forgive the parallels, but we have so many Stargate fans here. Mm-hmm. What are the similarities and differences between Tabor and Rodney McKay?
I think at heart, Rodney's a good guy. A little, cocksure, confident or a little overly confident, whereas Tabor isn't. and he's more obviously manipulative. He's kind of a schemer, but they're both kind of high-strung in a way.
Yeah, they are.
So they're both hypoglycemic.
And have static electricity with their cornflakes.
Right.
I love the imagery, by the way, in lots of in this part, for example.
Oh yeah. So directed by Jason Priestley, I should mention.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think that it's funny that they could set these things up like freaking IKEA beds. Like I was like, I mean, isn't this a little bit more complicated than like setting up, just like some random furniture? Like, what if they said something wrong and then would that like make the clone arm come out of the head or something? Like,
well, presumably these are like designed to work, so they're essentially factory models.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to do much.
No, I mean you just plug them in and make sure and even if the worst comes to worst, then your clone ends up screwed up on the other end, but its life cycle is temporary.
Did you set up the clothes, like the DNA clothes, to like, battle them being naked kind of situation?
Yes, that was the exact reason. Actually, 2 points about them using the transfer transit is the fact that yes, if they went, I mean, the first time we saw transfer transit, they were given specific clothes so that they could, they end up on the other side with like the special underwear, so they're not naked. In this case, we outfit them with special clothes because otherwise, I would have made an excuse for them happening to find clues on the other side, which I didn't buy. So I came up with the special outfits that bioorganic and travel with them. Other thing people notice, which is true, Five's hair color does not change.
Yes.
So she's a natural greenhead.
That is cool.
That's funny.
Oh, I want that.
And Joe, related to this, Time Prophet asks, were they refurbished sunbeds?
They were.
Really?
Yes.
Makes sense.
It went through like 3 different versions, and this is the version that we ended up with. But the first version was, a bit clunky, and then the second version was a little better. And then we went with this third version. Maybe we would have gone with a 4th version if we'd done a 4th season, but.
Really quick, John Burns, Alex with a Texan accent reminded me of a Korean comedian with a Southern accent. Twangy. Hello, I'll just let that sink in. I'm not sure what the reference is. Is it a MASH reference? No.
I don't think so.
If it was a MASH reference, I would have gotten it. I just binged the entire series last year.
Wow.
Thank you, John Burns. Alex with a Texan accent reminded me of a Korean comedian with a Southern accent. Cool.
I think it's always funny to see British people with a Southern accent. Like, I don't know why.
Joe, what did you say the name of the show was? George and Jeannie?
George or Ginny and George.
Ginny and George. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it's been released yet.
Okay. I was just looking it up.
And thank you, John Burns.
Or George and Ginny. Ginny and George? George and Ginny? Well, yeah.
And we also see here Nyx stopping Tabor.
Yes.
And I think it was 3 is telling her you didn't have to, or no, 6 is telling her not to. You didn't have to beat him up.
Mm-hmm. 6 was a little, I thought, a little harsh on her. Granted, she was harsh on Tabor, but he was a little, I thought, too tough on her.
Peggy asked Joe, was Jason a fan of the show?
No, I don't think Jason was aware of the show before he took the gig, but I'm sure he was a huge fan afterwards, after his experience on the show.
I think I saw it a couple of questions ago. Who was it? Someone asked, would you use transfer transit? Where was it? somewhere. Yeah, Corinne, would you use it? Yes.
You would? Where would you go?
I would go to Vegas. I would get all the food I wanted, and I would have no consequences. I just had to say yes. I would absolutely do that. Plus, it would make tornado chasing so much easier. You wouldn't have to worry about death.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why not?
Clones creep me out.
No,
I'm not interested.
Come knock on your door a week later. I'm replacing you.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in all that. That's too creepy.
So you're anti-clone?
Yeah, I'm anti-clone.
Huh.
What do you think about the ferret?
Have you seen that other show? It's a Canadian show too, with Orphan Black.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar.
Oh snap! Yeah. I forgot.
That's creepy, man. That's creepy. That's why I don't even do my DNA test. How people do it to Ancestry or whatever. I'm like, I'm not sending my DNA to some weird company.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're going to replace you.
They're going to replace me. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You're going to hate this then, because on the news this morning, we covered that scientists took the frozen DNA of a dead ferret from 23 years ago and made a new clone. I think it's Elizabeth Ann the ferret.
I hate this.
Yeah, I saw that.
I hate this. Why?
The producer tries to poke me into showing how I don't like the future.
I read years ago that Barbara Streisand cloned her dog, and I was like, why?
I thought you were weird. Say she was a clone. I thought we were going to go down a rabbit hole.
And Joe, we have some beautiful imagery here from the outside of the Raza. And just really quick, Jason Priestley was in Call Me Fitz. Nina and Katie, if you ever get a chance to see it, watch it. He's a used car salesman whose father owns a company.
I've seen all of it. That's amazing.
Any good?
It's very dark. It's very very dark comedy, and it's very raunchy, extremely raunchy. So if you don't like that kind of comedy, stay away. But if you do,
what part of this sweet innocent face makes you think I'd be with that? Because I am. No,
and thank you again, John. Thank you again, John. Beautiful, a lot of beautiful exterior shots in this episode, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, again, much of it due to Jason Priestley and in this case, visual effect, Lauren Bancroft Wilson, our visual effects supervisor.
I think one of the best things I like about the visuals, just the effects in this episode, is it's lit up. It's not like the ship is cloaked in darkness.
Yeah.
You can actually make out all the hard work and details that put into it.
Agreed. And here's
one of my biggest pet peeves.
Here's another shot of the exterior. They just have it up right now. Yeah, beautiful. I like the space station. It's interesting. The design is interesting, Joe. Yeah,
designed by James Robbins, who's a production designer on Stargate, late SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe. And the space stations in general have a very similar look, but every time we visit a new space station, there is kind of an alteration or changes made to differentiate them.
Time Prophet asked, did you think that the clone might not want to die? What if the clone escaped? Oh, I think when you guys were talking about theoreticals.
Yeah. I think the clone knows that its life expectancy is short. Even if it escaped, it wouldn't be able to last much beyond the 48-hour time period.
And Joe,
all of that creeps me out.
You mentioned before, Joe, that you didn't anticipate exploring any issues there with cloning, ethical issues at all, because of the situation is very. You didn't think there's a problem there, right?
Right. And we kind of touch on it in this episode. There's Five's initial kind of reluctance or hesitation to go in, and then her, this is going to be so cool. And then you juxtapose that with her response when she's looking for the handcuff keys for the guys, and she's like, I can't find them. Well, see you back at the ship, and just Yeah, kills them both.
That was a great moment.
Oh my gosh. Part of me wished that they could remember that happening and 3 would just be like, but what the hell?
I'm sorry, because I came late. So were you saying that this episode was directed by Jason Priestley?
Yes.
Really? That's so cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I love that guy.
He is actually a very nice guy.
He's so talented.
And a big dim sum fan. Yeah, we're in for dim sum a couple of times after the show.
I'm surprised he didn't guest star himself in the episode.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
It's kind of tough to guest star when you're
like
you're
directing.
Yeah.
Did he direct any other one, or was this the only one?
This is the only one. I mean, I'm not sure if he was doing his own show at the time. There's a show called Private Eyes, and that keeps him pretty busy. I mean, he also directs that on occasion. He's also a producer on the show. He's also the star of the show. So we were just lucky that in terms of scheduling, this particular episode worked for us.
Did you guys approach him, or did he approach you?
No, we approached him.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So it didn't even come up that he would have a cameo at all. Then.
No.
Interesting.
Oh, I love him. He's so hot.
What did you guys? What did you guys think of the android showing comfort to Nix? What did you guys think, Godega?
This was something I actually was thinking about bringing up. It was very interesting. I love how the actress, and more so than the writing, but the actual actress, the android, I always forget her name.
Zoe Palmer.
Zoe, how she is able to, and it's so believable that she could make it like she's holding back emotion instead of being a droid without emotion. You know, she's playing the line, and you could sense her acting it makes it believable that she's playing the line instead of letting the chip take everything or being in her, normal, I am the android aboard the ship. And I really, really appreciate how good of an actress she is. And this is one of those scenes where it seems subtle, but to me, it made a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers to this character that Zoe plays. It's incredible. And, this scene is just an example of how far the android has come, in that she's always been kind of the innocent and has relied on the other crew members to kind of guide her. And here she takes, in a way, all the experience and everything she has learned from the crew and applies it to attempting to comfort Nix in her kind of own awkward way.
Plus, it's emotional initiative.
Even to the end where when you're trying to sort of comfort someone, touch is kind of an important thing. And so she reaches over and I think awkwardly touches her leg or her foot, as if to sort of, offer her that moment of physical comfort.
Well, what I found really interesting about the scene, I don't know if this was before or after she has that conversation. I think it was before. She has that conversation with Tabor in the room. And he's like, you're really like different from other, service models or whatever. Like, it's like as if you have that caretaker program running in you or like whatever. And I thought that was really interesting because she is kind of like, she's truly exhibiting like that mother caretaker kind of thing right here in this scene, and otherwise for the crew as well. Like, and she's always concerned for their safety, So I thought that was an interesting comment that he made.
The android is Alice from the Brady Bunch. Without her, the entire show the crew is a mess.
She is the glue.
True.
But I totally relate to that whole, I'm going to do the best I can and hope I don't fail. Pat. Like the number of times I did that in college when you had mental breakdowns over physics homework. Totally relatable. And I think the android is definitely growing on me very quickly this season.
Good.
Totally, yeah. And Joe, there was a question. Time Prophet asked, why do Why do actors always grow beards when they become directors? Do you want to answer?
That would be a question for them. I don't know.
I would guess that part of them wants to alter their appearance so they can have a more normal experience behind the camera, but that's my guess.
Possibly.
It's the secret club initiation.
John Burns says, I met Jason and I had to ask him about the show Hollywood and Vine, where he and Terry David Mulligan traveled from winery to winery like Gretzky's. Wow, interesting.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, John.
I want to go back in time to Comic-Cons and just be able to go up to people and meet people again. That comment makes me realize how much I miss meeting my favorite people.
I think we'll have Comic-Con this summer. Don't you think? If vaccinations go.
I don't know. Comic-Con is usually July, and they're saying in the US that they're aiming for August to have most of the vaccinations done, which is kind of crazy, I think, personally. I don't know. I think we may have to wait till 2022.
I mean, we're talking about people who don't put on deodorant, let alone take their own fruition, go to a hospital to get 2 vaccines, not just one. So I think it's going to be a lot longer, which is depressing.
Yeah.
We also got to see that the Galactic Authority visits Tabor's girlfriend or mistress or whatever.
Oh my God, she was so funny. I really liked her.
And we're putting up that image now. And thank you, John Burns. Thank you for that comment. Thank you, John Burns. That's awesome that you met Jason. Wow. Thank you.
That's so cool. I wish I could have met Jason.
You were going to. What were you going to say about this image, Nina? I'm sorry.
Nina's so bad.
I'm such a huge 90210 fan. You guys don't understand. I was a huge Brandon. Like, oh my God. Okay. Sorry. This image, wait, what are we talking about? This one. Yeah. Girlfriend. This lady was really funny because she was like, oh my God, like, I don't care that like he's missing. I just I had to find another date. He owes me one. I was just like, dude.
The actress is Ali Chung, who I kept in touch with after the show. It turned out that she ended up adopting my ex's French bulldogs.
Whoa.
Which was kind of funny, but
is that like a small world thing, or did she like?
Yeah, it was a small world thing, and it was great because we would keep in touch, and she would send me updates on what Bree and Stewie were doing. And how they were doing it. Yeah,
that's sweet,
Stewie.
And Joe, Alan Cox asked a question. How do you choose a director for an episode? What's the process?
Usually we get a list of potential directors, either, from, for instance, I had a list of directors I wanted to work with. Jay had a list of directors that he's worked with in the past, and agents will always send you their directors lists. And you just kind of look over the list and you see, what experience they've had and you just, reach out and make the offer. And if it works for their schedule, if they're interested, then you slot them in and they come and direct an episode.
Would you ever choose a director with little experience for any particular reason, Joe?
I don't know if you mean by little experience. I mean, for instance, John Stead was our second unit director. So he directed a lot of second unit, but he never directed a full episode. And yet the quality of the, of the footage he was delivering led me to offer him an episode, and he turned out to be one of my very favorite directors on the show. So, maybe it's not quite as fair to say that he was inexperienced. I mean, certainly inexperienced in terms of directing full episodes, but not an inexperienced director. It's kind of hard to sort of entrust an hour of television to a director who's never done it before, to be honest.
I guess my question was, you're very hands off, and you're not. You and Ian are very hands off, right? In that sense that they have to really run the show, right? Pretty much.
Well, kind of yes and no. We have a week of prep, which means a week of meetings where we'll go over the script. And if the director has any questions, I'll field them, and I'm able to field them, throughout the week. And then we'll both go into those art department meetings, the costume meetings. So we make sure that everyone's on the same page. And then before the episode shoots, we usually have something called a tone meeting. So we'll go through the script page by page, and I will make sure to point out, if there's something I want to see on screen, I want to make sure that he gets it. And then Ivan Bartok, who you already met, is my on-set producer. He sits in on all those meetings so that if I can't be on set, Ivan will be there to kind of make sure I get what I need. So it's not like we just kind of hand off to the director and like, good luck, let me know how it works out.
Of course, yeah.
See you in post.
Yeah.
James Ricard, Mr. Manhands himself from Seinfeld, is sending me a message saying that he believes directors do it to conform to their to the stereotype with the beards.
I believe it.
Sarah Jett asked, "Do you do table reads?" And yes, I did them on Dark Matter just because I wanted to make sure that all the actors read the script beforehand, but more importantly, that if they had any issues, they would come to me before the day of shooting. And so, like Roger was always very good. Roger Cross was always very good, but coming in after the table read and, talking about like any lines of dialogue he bumped on or any moments. So.
Oh, John Bird's expecting to go to Calgary Expo in April.
Oh.
Wow, that's soon.
Optimistic.
This is just another beautiful shot. Some really beautiful shots of external shots. I just wanted to. The fans really do appreciate it. So
I pay a lot of attention to these spaceships and stations and stuff, and most stations really bore me. This is one of the ones that kind of stands out more. I mean, even among the show, just simply because of the shape, the functionality.
Yeah. Since I'm feeling unusually ranty today, and I feel like I'm unusually ranty today because I got a new Mac and I'm trying to transfer information. And you're supposed to do it by iCloud, but it keeps on not recognizing my password, and I keep on having to change my password. So, anyways, it's been kind of a one of those days. So, one of my sources of frustration on the series is in Canada we have the CSAs, which are kind of the version of the Emmys. Just the Emmys, I guess. Yeah. The Emmy Awards. So maybe it's the Emmys and Oscars combined. In any case,
totally corrupt.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I'm never a believer in awards. I don't really care. Like when I was on Stargate, I was a showrunner. I never put any of my own stuff up for nomination. If it's important to certain department heads and actors for their career to be nominated or win, so I'll happily do that for them. But I don't really care, and because I just find most of the time you're either picking winners based on who you know, who they're connected with, or because you're trying to make some sort of a point, offer social commentary, what have you. But the only category that you really, cannot do that with is visual effects, because either you can tell good visual effects or bad visual effects. And the fact that for the first, I think, 2 years, Dark Matter was not nominated for visual effects just drove me crazy to the point where I actually contacted the CSAs and I was like, honestly, guys, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Really?
And then season 3, we happened to be nominated and we didn't win. And I didn't expect to win, but the fact that we weren't nominated just really galled me.
No,
that is annoying.
And I've experienced it with our regional Emmys that you get for just TV news and stuff. Holy cow. It's bad when the public points out, did they really gave that guy an award? It ticks me off to no end.
And yes, John Burns, Amanda tapping is way too cool for a beard. Absolutely. And let me just show I was about to post something today, but I didn't have time. Speaking about Amanda tapping, who has also been the director on Dark Matter. This wonderful episode I saw today where Joe just wrote a beautiful, beautiful episode with Brad Wright and Paul Malik.
Oh, yeah. Ripple effect. Yeah.
I really need to see Stargate.
You do. You know what?
Okay.
You can just start from the beginning, or we should give you a list of select episodes. You know, something that you can jump into and gauge your interest.
Okay, I like that.
That's what I will do.
Wow.
I will put together a list of my top 10 episodes for first-time Stargate fans who don't want to sort of wade through all the mythology, but just want a taste.
That's great, Joe.
That's going to be my next blog post for you.
Ooh.
For you.
Thank you.
Awesome. The producer's picks. Wow.
There we go.
Thank you, John. Yeah, Amanda. Wow. Me too, Katie, says Sarah. Okay.
Hey.
One better. Yeah. Two's better than one. And while I put up the next image real quick, and Joe, yeah, that's absolutely, I feel what you're saying with the recognition and that because it's not like it's a big pond, right?
Right. Exactly.
And while I pick up the next image, I just want everybody to check this out. I was going to put it up at the beginning, but we're just so wonderfully entertained by our co-host here.
Oh gosh.
The pouty child in ice jail.
You know, originally I was just doing this by myself. No one was around until my coworker pulled up and she's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Get your phone out. I need a picture of this." Yeah, that's how I feel because it got up to 49 degrees today and we had 6 inches of snow on Sunday and it's gone. I was very upset.
And then here they are sitting around. I'm going to put up the image now. And thank you, Katie, by the way, thank you for sharing all of the images you do, Katie. You make life very entertaining for us.
Hooray! That's the goal.
And let's see. So they're all sitting around the table. Yeah. And by the way, nice job on the circle with the icicles.
Thank you. I think the most impressive part of that picture was the frown because I don't usually frown. I was like, how can I be grumpy?
So they're sitting around talking about the they're sitting. Oh, I forgot what they were
How
talking
5
about.
is amazingly talented and boastful.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
And the fact that three doesn't trust 6 yet, so he's going to volunteer. And
although part of me was feeling like, wait, if he doesn't trust him, wouldn't they want him to be in the clone chamber so he couldn't screw up anything when they're out with their clones?
Also, I'll give you a little secret, but one of the developments of season 2 is 3's relationship with 5. So on the surface, it seems like he doesn't trust 6, that he's going to go out and instead of him. But you could almost make a case for the fact that when 5 says she's going to go, 3 volunteers to go so that he can keep an eye on him.
Aww. Big brother vibes.
Mm-hmm.
The good Big Brother, not the 1984.
And the android almost went because she was keeping an eye on 3.
Right.
In his suit.
Can't blame her. You can't blame her. That was a very nice.
Oh, Joe, we last night on a stream with Robert Meyer Burnett on Cardinal Sin's channel, we the whole thing about giving Trek to Joe Malazzi came up, and somebody suggested in the chat, who was it? I forget who it was. Somebody suggested that 3 would be a great captain, or was it in the tweet? I forget.
Would. We absolutely would.
Oh.
A great Starfleet captain. He would, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be great friends with Kirk.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And what was your favorite part of this episode, Adega, today?
It's a tough one because there were, to be honest, there were some that I wasn't real impressed with, unfortunately. But most episodes I really liked. But that scene there that you just had where she was boasting, I thought that was kind of funny. I liked that. I liked the scene where we talked about Zoe doing comfort for Nix. Another one I didn't like as much, though, going to that end, was when it seemed just way too familiar when they were both chained to chairs back to back. Flashbacks to when 1 and 3 were together, and it just could have been a little different. So that kind of set me off.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I think I'm always big on space battles, so I kind of like that shootout. Granted, it was small, but I thought it was pretty cool. And the final one would be the one that Katie hated the most, is when the nurse bites it.
So sad. But
you
like
saddened,
that
Katie?
scene? Ortega, we're supposed to be on the same side.
You like?
Well, I didn't mean I liked that he was gone. I just thought the scene was really cool with the story.
Yeah, true.
It was interesting to have them show up there at the. Was that where you? How did you feel about that scene, Joe, when you rewatched it at the very end?
I did like the intent of the scene. I think it just sort of generally worked. I mean, I wanted to keep the Seers alive as a threat, and just remind the audience or let them know that last episode was not the last we'd seen of them, that they hadn't given up on Nix, that they were going after her, and sooner or later there would be a confrontation, and so for that reason I included it. And also the other reason is what I mentioned, the fact that it's kind of a sad end for Devin, in that he kind of sacrifices himself to for the crew, and in the end the crew doesn't even know it. Nix sits at the bar and just kind of assumes that he flaked out on her.
Yeah, that was good.
They find his dead body, right? I imagine he doesn't.
Wouldn't it be sad if they didn't?
You know why? Today, I just found a mouse that died in the crook of a door. I don't know how long ago, and I just found its body. So that is a sore subject right now. They better find him and give him a proper burial.
And I just want the audience to know that the real reason we don't have an image of Adega today, because he's very bashful. He's wearing his Transfer Transit snug jumpsuit.
No, I'd be showing that thing off.
Yeah. It's like those, the TikTok legging trend that makes anyone's butt look good.
And this is such a funny shot. This is very funny, Joe. This is a very funny scene.
This was so funny. I really like this.
My favorite part of the entire episode was this.
Yeah. I guess it's the subtleties. I mean, in the script, she said it's scripted for her to say it's so ... snug, and then, of course, Zoe and Anthony make the scene, not just in the deliveries, but in Zoe drops that look, and then Anthony follows the look down.
Like it was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was really good about this episode, Joe, was that Zoe on many occasions was very inappropriate. Like she would get extremely close to Tabor when she talked to him. She said this about, and this whole being like awkward and inappropriate, I thought was really nice character, a nice description of what Android is going through.
Right. Yes.
Childlike.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Yes.
And thank you, John Burns. Regional news Emmys remind me of Les Nessman and his 6-time Buckeye News Hawk Award. Oh, okay. I'm not sure who Les Nessman was. Is he Canadian?
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, WKRP. Okay.
Wait, that's the show where the Thanksgiving episode where he's like, "With God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly."
I'm not sure if that's the episode. Well, that is like the, I think, Thanksgiving episode. Yeah.
Okay. I know of the show then, and I can't say that about most references. So counting that as a win.
Well done.
I take
Thank
all
you,
of
John.
victories.
And we see here they're actually doing. Thank you, John, very much. They're doing the transfer transit. They go out. They locate 5 locates the transfer transit pods, and they're able to connect to them. I thought that was very interesting, Joe. The way they got onto a secret, impenetrable base. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about having a cool technology like this is finding new ways to use it and exploit it. And it's just like, today, people find a way to exploit technology for sort of, malicious ways. So, it's kind of a fun, future thought experiment.
And I tweeted today, guys, by the way, after I finished rewatching this for like the 3rd time, I tweeted today that, thank you, Joe MALLOZZI, for including science and common sense in dark matter because of one very specific thing that you did, Joe, in the writing was that they said, 5, you shouldn't do transfer transit because you'll go without your nanites. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great, and it probably would have been overlooked in a different show. So anyway.
Yeah. Actually following through with, we established this, and we can't just get around it and forget that it never happened.
Right.
Star Trek.
Exactly.
Actually have to follow through.
I had a nitpicky situation come up for me in this episode, and then I realized that I was wrong because, I saw 5's shoes. And I was like, wait, do the shoes count as part of the outfit? And then I realized they were all wearing the same shoes. So I was like, okay, so it's part of the outfit. And I was like, okay, so I'm wrong. I'm not going to bring that up. But I brought it up anyway because I just wanted to.
Well, nice. I appreciate the fact that you, what, that kind of reminded me of when I went to see the Sixth Sense for the first time. And I'm a person that you hate to go see movies with because I'll just sit there and I'll be counting the plot holes in my head. And that was the case with Sixth Sense. I was watching it, it was like, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And then when the reveal comes, all those plot holes are plugged by the twist. And I thought that was very clever. And for that reason, that was the one M. Night Shyamalan movie that actually worked for me.
Go watch The Last Airbender, and you will never watch another M. Night Shyamalan movie ever again.
Why did you even bring that up, Katie? Why did you even bring that up?
I have to. Because
the button was pushed.
There are people in the comments section who might just happen upon the movie, and I need them to know to never watch that movie.
Yeah, don't ever watch it. Do your eyes a favor.
Joe, really quick, just because you brought it up, I actually had that question for you one time to ask you. What about somebody like M. Night Shyamalan who just had such great success onto the scene as a movie maker? Is it hard for somebody like that to surprise people again in the future because of
I don't think so. I mean, the fact is people are expecting the twist. but that doesn't. You just have to find a clever way to do it. The problem is that he's known as the twist guy, so he has to include a twist in everything he does, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I said, I mentioned the Sixth Sense, but one movie, M. Night movie that I actually quite like that nobody really talks about is The Visit, and it's about it's about these two kids who go away to spend, I think, like the weekend with their grandparents, and it turns into like a horrifying experience for them. And the kid who plays the boy is just so annoying. But if you get past that, the twist in that movie works very well.
The Visit, that's
Yes.
the one with like his grandparents? Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to watch that movie, but I've been so against M. Night Shyamalan that I'm
I have to tell you that movie surprised me because I'm not a huge fan either, but
I might watch this now. Okay, great.
Interesting. Okay.
I won't. I don't trust him.
I don't trust them either, Katie. I don't trust them.
Nope.
Joe, was all the blue and green colors an homage to the Matrix? Ask E. Clay Thomason.
What blue and green colors?
I guess
The pods. They got the green light.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it wasn't intentional on my part. Maybe it was intentional on the part of our production designer, Ian Brock. It's a question for him next time he comes back to the show.
You guys could have just kept him as tanning booths and given everyone a spa day.
Yeah.
Okay, and we see here that Tabor kind of talks himself out of confinement because he turns it into a health issue. And I thought that
See,
was
the challenge with taking a picture of him in Stargate or this is to get a still picture with him with his mouth closed.
He kind of reminds me of that kid in college who wants to get the single room, so just makes up all these things like, oh, I have this, I have rabies, I have scabies, I have athlete's foot, like just rattles it off until he gets what he wants.
And yes, Jeff. So Jeff, thank you, Jeff. Joe, do a top 10 list for SGA newbies.
All right.
Oh, Atlantis. I'm sorry. Yeah, for the Atlantis. Or are you consider doing that?
I'm going to do like an overall Stargate list. Top 10 for first-time viewers.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff Wheeler. And Jeff was saying that he's on the board of a Comic-Con for October, and they're not sure if they're going to be doing it. So we'll see. And we were offered to do. I think we're going to be offered to do one in October again, and I'm not sure if that's in Atlantic City. I'm not sure if that's going to happen actually. So. Okay.
It's all just up in the air. Total chaos, as it should be.
I don't like that.
This scene where Android threatens David Hewlett's character was so good.
Yeah.
We see her losing patience.
Right?
She's definitely becoming more emotional, and I think she might be slipping. Like she's losing her ability to control the emotions. I could totally see her just by season 3 just walking around like a normal walking, talking human being. That's my guess.
Who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, for all I know, she could die in the next episode. That's
Exactly.
Nothing's for certain. Nina, your little shrug doesn't help. Now I'm worried.
We're also learning a lot about Nyx here, really, in this episode, I think. And Joe, there are moments where we really start to feel this whole nice, warm, and fuzzy family feeling again. And then, of course, Joe mixes it up at the end.
Oh, that's a nice way of saying stabs it through the heart.
Did you feel stabbed?
I'm not gonna
Little
forgive you.
stabby.
Honestly, I was surprised by the method in which they killed him because it's like, who
Yeah.
stabs people anymore? Like, why don't
That's
they just use
messy.
a gun?
Yeah, it's so
Joe, when-
1970s.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
maybe like a weapon would have alerted the station systems or something. I guess. No.
Well, actually, yes, they're not allowed to bring firearms onto the station. So
That's
Oh,
what I
probably
there you
get.
go.
stand.
So stabbing was the next best thing.
Joe, when things get back to normal, will there ever? I know you said you don't really go to Comic Cons much, but will there be any opportunity, like for like Sarah Jett says, I need my Dark Matter book signed at some point?
Yeah, you know what? If in the future, let's say we get a Dark Matter miniseries off the ground, or if I'm at Comic Con for any other reason, by all means, come on by and I'll sign whatever you like.
Ooh.
Awesome. And this is a Stargate question, Joe, from Time Prophet. Did you offer Richard Dean more money to stay? Did the Stargate offer?
Rick didn't need more money to stay. I mean, for him, it wasn't a money issue. It was a fact that he had a young daughter that he wanted to spend time with. And he'd done, I think at that point, I think almost like 6 seasons of Stargate. And then he did a 7th and then an 8th. And, you know, by then he was kind of lessening his time on the show just because he wanted to spend more time with his daughter, to the point where ultimately we ended up writing the character out, giving him the open door so he could come back and do guest spots whenever he wanted, because of course he's Richard Dean Anderson, and bringing in Ben Browder and Claudia, because I was a big Farscape fan.
Wow. Who made that pitch to bring them in? Was it you?
I mean, Rob and Brad were the ones who spoke to Sci-Fi, but really, I'd been the one who'd been pitching both of them for a while, just because I really liked them on Farscape. And
Cool.
I was talking about this earlier today, the fact that when we brought the characters onto the show, we pitched having both the characters be series regulars for season 9. And Sci-Fi was like, no, it's too similar to Farscape. And I was like, well, Claudia's character is nothing like Aaron Soon in Farscape. It's like a completely opposite character. They're like, no. And so we gave Claudia a 6-episode deal. And after the first episode was delivered, Sci-Fi called us and was like, can we make her a season regular this season? And at that point, we were like, well, the ship has sailed. But if we get a 10th season, then let's talk. And we did.
Nice.
Wow, awesome. Karine asks, when writing for a character you know will die, do you try to write in a way people won't get attached, or do you like them getting attached?
Of course, I want them to be attached.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, Katie. Look. Absolutely, you want them to be attached.
Oh, it's so much more enjoyable when you are attached, and then it just it hurts so bad.
You weren't that attached to the nurse, not as much as like one, right? Like, because that one hurt me. I
like the nurse for different reasons, so I was hoping he would stick around a little longer, but no.
Okay,
fine.
you like the nurse for the same reasons I like Jason Priestley, so I was like, okay,
Beautiful.
all right. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
And I think that the thing that kills me is he didn't get a redemption arc.
I know. I was like, come on.
You girls just call this poor guy a Mimbo. Anyway, next picture. He's a very talented actor. Yeah,
She
Joe,
rocked this episode.
she's a great character.
And I really like that part where she's like, she reminds me of a little, like a young me, like leave her alive. Cause like, it's just like so narcissistic. Like, when you're like, when you see somebody like, that's kind of like you and you're like, cause otherwise she would just want her killed. Right. Like otherwise she would just be like, freaking kill that bitch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those words exactly.
She's very Euro, isn't she? Her character.
She kind
Joe.
of is, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cool look about her.
And I want to put up this picture because I thought this picture was just very funny. It was very it was cool and very comedic.
Kind of reminds me of Cruella de Vil in this one.
And so we have a picture here of 3 when they're fighting, and I just thought this is of course 4 kicks ass, and 3 just kind of just pretends to do the 4 thing with his like stance.
Right.
That was funny. It's like,
I'm laughing out loud over here. I have to mic myself.
And I after somebody mentioned that yesterday, I think it was a Twitter post regarding our on-stream conversation, and I totally see him in a Star Trek uniform, in a Starfleet uniform.
really? That's hilarious.
I do. I really do.
That'd be an easy enough edit in Photoshop.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm not skilled, but if someone is, that would be the perfect freeze frame for it.
Engineering uniform. If you ask me to fix that one more time.
Yeah.
And Joe came up with a very ingenious way for Alicia's character to actually potentially harm the real 3 and 4 and 5 by sending a
neural blast.
A neural blast, yeah. Thank you, Joe. And the fact that they can be tortured and suffer.
Yes.
See, like,
they can feel pain.
Part of me wondered, like, if you were to, like, say, beat them to within an inch of their life, and then you shove them back in the pod, and then they go back to their actual physical body and are perfectly fine, would there be some sort of shock that goes with that could cause lingering harm? I don't know why. That's where my mind went with this.
No.
Okay.
No.
That is a scary idea that they could just create an infinite loop of pain.
Yeah.
2020.
Joe, this is a good question from Time Prophet. Do they have to? I mean, is it upon themselves, or do you suggest that they review certain material for directing an episode?
No, I mean you can't make a director watch older episodes. You hope that they do and prepare. But I remember one director who came on and really didn't know the show that well. And it irked the cast.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, Joe, I broke up. Can you repeat that?
I just said that you can't make a director watch episodes. You hope that they prepare by watching episodes. And I pointed out that we did have one director come in once who clearly had never watched this season or the show. And ended up really irking the cast because, he's asking them questions that, as someone who would be familiar with the show, would know if the character would or would not do.
Right.
So which number are you again? What?
And Jeff says 2 would make an excellent Star Trek captain.
She would.
No, that's interesting.
I could see her as like an admiral one day. Okay, that comment reminds me. I bought a Body by Starfleet, which is a exercise guided book for people who like Star Trek. And I think there's a move where it's like do the double fist to like stretch out, and it's oh my gosh. If you guys need a funny way to burn fat, Body by Starfleet.
Body by Starfleet.
Wow, interesting.
I got it for Christmas, and I did not stop laughing since.
Wow.
I think there's the counselor Troy, their neck stretches, so you're active listening, roll your head.
There might be a live stream there for you, Katie, for your channel.
I get some weird views.
And we have some really nice imagery here on the roof of the building, Joe.
Oh yeah. And you'll see. Actually, I provided some behind the scenes footage. This is just a small portion of the set that was built on our standing set. It was just a door and part of the floor and surrounding wall, and then the rest was all green screen and visual effects.
Wow. And I am going to go ahead and open. I'm going to go ahead and open that. Open the behind the scenes images that Joe gave us, and I'm just going to put up.
I was a little surprised that she was able to get to the rooftop like as quickly as she did and not get caught. And also that the door was so easy to open.
Well, I mean, probably harder to open from the outside than
that's true.
Get out.
It was interesting, Joe, because you really gave us the feeling like the family had expanded. And then you really give us a feeling that the family had expanded, and then all of a sudden, the original family goes poof, and they disappear. And so, what is to become of what we thought were new members of the family?
I really hope we see at least Nyx again. Like, we see her again, right?
Does she make it back to the ship? I don't know.
Joseph.
No comment.
Fine.
I honestly don't know how you're doing it right now, Katie. At this point,
man, I would be so like, I'm gonna watch now.
There's I have a specific like blanket that I just like squeezed to within an inch of its life, and I just tear. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go eat, and that's the only way I can get away from it.
At times, I almost want to sort of watch you watch it for the first time.
I should record myself and just get like
you
the best
should
snippets.
for next episode, for episode 212 in particular.
Okay.
It would be
You could do a private StreamYards and watch it that way. That'll work.
I can set up a camera, and I will cut out the best snippets of my reaction.
Excellent. Okay.
Watch those live.
Do it.
And wow, that'd be interesting, Katie. Katie, that's good content for your channel. Reaction.
Yeah.
It would that's the dangerous thing, because when I'm alone, I can swear as much as I want. Online, I'm sweet and innocent.
Yes, of course.
But you can bleep yourself out, so that'd be even
It would
funnier.
be like the national alert tone. It'd just
It'll
be
be
one
like,
constant
beep, beep, beep.
son of a.
Okay, I'm putting up the. Go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, if I start uploading my tornado chases, that might have to happen.
And I want to read really quick the super chat. Thank you, John Burns. Thank you for being so generous, John. You don't have to. Appreciate it. Last week, I forgot to mention the note by 3 while piloting on the Marauder reminded me of the note that Kevin Bacon had. Oh, yes, exactly. I thought about that too on Apollo 13. Yeah. That's what we were asking Joe if Post-it could sponsor season 4. Thank you, John Burns. Thank you for that. John, if you ever want to plug something, you have a channel. I don't think you have a channel, but if you do, let me know, please, or an account, a Twitter account, or Instagram, or whatever. What are we looking at here?
A picture of 3 leaving Joe's office after losing his way about eating on set.
Exactly. Another hard-fought note session.
Got a couple of broken scotch bottles on the floor. Fine, guys, just don't go in there.
How long does it normally take? It doesn't look like difficult makeup, but that's not an hour-long set of makeup, is it?
I mean, when they go in, they have to have their hair done. They have to have a bunch of stuff done. So it could be about an hour with all the applications. I mean, in the case of Alex Millar Jr., he's got tattoos all over his body. When he did the shirtless scenes, he had to cover up all those tattoos, and he would come in at like something ridiculous, like 4 a.m. for like a 2 or 3 hour cover session.
That would get hot too, I imagine. Just you're basically in a bodysuit of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah. There's
Ouch.
that stuff gets sticky after a while too. I was one time when I was on Chicago Med, I was a victim, and I had it dripping down the side of my hair. And I have curly Greek hair. This is straightened for work. And I could not get it out. I went to class with a red tint on side of my head. You should have seen me trying to sneak in past my desk attendant. I came back from set and they wouldn't let us like wipe anything off. So I looked like I'd been murdered.
How long ago was this?
It was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh,
It was
I was
Chicago
gonna
Med.
say, like, is there like an evolution of like blood?
Yeah, has it improved at all?
Has it improved in the last few years?
Oh.
And great. Who's doing the makeup department for Dark Matter again, Joe?
That will be Linda McCormick and her team. She's our head key makeup, and then Renee. Look up her name. Renee was our hair person.
And I'm really liking this outfit that Zoe has on.
Oh yeah, so that's her. Her new look.
I like it. It's growing on me. It's nice and clean. It has very good edges.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not as much as fashion I get into, but.
Okay.
Renee Chan, by the way.
Renee Chan.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, and there's David and Zoe, all smiles before the confrontation.
Is it fun working with David, Joe?
Yeah, David's always fun. I mean, he always brings that extra something to the role.
If you guys don't know in the chat, most of you probably do, that David Hewlett has his own YouTube channel. I retweet it sometimes. It's a fun watch. He's a big science guy.
Ooh.
Yes, that's with the bourbon milkshakes. They used to come. We all used to live in the same apartment building, and they used to come up, and we used to watch The Walking Dead, and I would make them bourbon milkshakes, and we'd call it a night. And so there's my Frenchie Lulu, who sadly is no longer with us, and Jodel's derpy dog, who sadly is no longer with us either.
It looks like a cavalier.
Yeah, cavalier.
One of my favorite kinds of dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have. You see the tail running around here every once in a while.
Yes.
That's a nice picture.
Looks like that one Jodel's dog might have gotten into the milkshake a little bit. I'm ready to go, man.
This is interesting.
Wow.
This is one of the office PAs made that. What was it, like a what do you call it? A needle stitch?
Cross stitch?
No, like a cross stitch.
Cross stitch. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That could be on a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's harder than it looks too.
Oh, I bet. And time consuming. Look at how much blood.
Heavens!
Look at how much blood.
Damn.
What? Now that's just adding insult to injury.
Is
didn't
that
seem like that
realistic?
much. I think it's realistic. Yeah.
Is it? Is
Yeah, it
that
is
how much
If it
blood?
if it cut the right art, I've got an abdominal aorta. If he was, there's supposedly they're super intelligent. Catch that, he'd bleed out real quick, and it'd look similar to that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. And all he wanted to do was quit drugs.
When you put it like that, it makes it even worse. Oh gosh.
This is
I
very
like
cool.
this.
It's one of our amazing props, yes.
That's awesome.
And that slot up top, over towards the right is where our blink card would fit in, or will fit in.
For like, a part of me was wondering why it wasn't better guarded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Well,
wondering,
I mean, the assumption is that you don't really know the security measures in place, not only around the building but around the entire complex.
oh, okay. Okay, so it's more than just that one building.
Yes.
Okay.
When she picked it up at first, I thought there was going to be like some sort of like, Indiana Jones moment where like, like a
Sliding under the
cage is
door.
going to drop down.
Pedal
or something
still
like
goes
that.
down.
Like, yeah, like something. And then like it didn't happen.
And Joe, obviously, people who are working on set for maintenance and cleaning, and they obviously know what's fake and what's not.
Yes,
that's the
absolutely.
TT's question.
Yes.
If you even have one day where they're like, you know what, we're going to let the biohazard team take care of this, I feel like there's problems there.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is the nerd in me. I see each one of those cards and none of them are duplicated, and I thought that's a really nice touch too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sound Engraver. I'm so glad you enjoyed Dark Matter. That's awesome.
Fantastic. Always love to hear.
Welcome
Welcome
Sound.
aboard.
She has a great channel, by the way. Sound Engraver, I'm giving you, if you don't have it, I'm giving you the rent so you can put in your channel.
I've lurked in her channel several times. They never know I'm there.
Stalker.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, now she does.
This looks like a happy family.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of like these photos from behind the scene where everybody's having fun, and you get a sense of kind of the on-set atmosphere, very chill.
That's one of the nice things.
There's a grizzly bear. Oh my God! I just
What?
noticed that.
Oh yeah, there he is.
I was like, oh my God, it's Jason Priestley.
That's one of the nice things that everyone says when they come on, the guests that you bring, and it's not any service to try and get a future job, but just they're all genuinely pleased with the way the atmosphere was there, and that says a ton. About the quality, the outcome, the people who work there.
Because I mean, we've all been on productions that are not like that, and I personally will never work on a production that is any less than the type of production that Stargate or Dark Matter were.
Well, I hope you success in achieving the same thing with Powder Mage.
Thank you. Thank you. Who knows what the future holds? We'll see. Oh, there's
Does anyone
Jason
else
in action.
like cringe seeing so many people so close together nowadays? It's like involuntary, but
Us older people long for that.
Mm-hmm.
he kind of looks like a pirate ship. Just that way.
Yeah, thank you for these behind the images, Joe. These are great.
Yeah, my pleasure. These two tough guys behind the scenes.
That is funny.
That's funny.
Joe, would you agree that Rodney McKay's character? I'm sorry to bring this up, Joe. You're here, so I need to ask. So,
Yeah.
Was it fair to say Rodney McKay's character in Atlantis kind of goes through that evolution that Daniel goes through in SG-1, where he kind of becomes like a tougher guy in the field and not just an intellectual?
I think to a lesser extent. I mean,
to a lesser extent.
Yeah, I mean, I think McKay never seems that comfortable with a weapon.
But he does start to pretend to be comfortable, right?
Yeah, Yeah,
pretends.
And you do see those flashes of, genuine heroism in him amidst the, the general anxiety.
And guys, that is Sound Engraver's channel. She has a great channel. She is an expert in sound, and I don't know what to say about her channel. It's great. Just check it out. And I'm so glad you're enjoying Dark Matter, my friend.
I love how the shirt kind of looks like wallpaper. It's so different from the sleek sci-fi-esqueness.
He has a style all his own.
Who picks these shirts out?
That's Noreen Landry, our costume designer, wardrobe. So that's what I was talking about. This is the part that they just built this piece of the set, and the rest was just the magic of the visual effects.
So interesting.
And there's a nice. I don't have that picture, but there's before the Marauder approaches. There's just a nice picture of 5 on the stairs. I think.
Yeah.
That's very
looking
very
out
nice.
with the wind blowing, waiting for the Marauder to land. Yeah, here's Alex doing his best Spider-Man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
his Peter Parker audition.
He could be in the multiverse.
Oh my god. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have to worry about like any sort of cover up or anything because you got the long sleeve suit. So
yeah.
And guys, I want to remind everybody to also sub to our panel, Nina Infinity, the Dega, and Katie, please.
Oh my god.
The state's getting smaller and smaller.
Impressive.
Wow.
That's a great picture.
I seem to recall some middle school boys trying to do that on some chemistry bar stools, and they face planted.
Really?
Harder than it was.
That must have been really funny, though.
It was amazing.
And once again, here's Jason in action directing.
Oh my
Sean
god,
here.
he's so hot.
Wow.
But you should be happy to know, that he is a genuinely down-to-earth, very nice, funny guy. Because so often, you'll have sort of an actor of his caliber, and you want to like them, and then when you get to meet them, it's like they're either such duds or they can be, less frankly, assholes. But he is actually a really good guy.
Oh my god, that makes him even hotter. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Thank you. This is a great episode, Joe. Did you want to sum up anything else about the episode?
No, not really. I mean, it really sets up next week's episode, which, as I mentioned, is one of my very favorites, and it played, as I often do on the show. You take kind of a sci-fi chestnut, and you make it your own, and you kind of transform it and have fun with it, and that's what Katie, you can look forward to next week.
Yeah, and I look forward to showing you all my raw reactions.
Yes, excellent.
Next week, I feel like, basically shit gets real next week. Like when you're like,
no.
Okay, like this is when like the height of things start kicking in, and then it gets real. So it's good. It's good stuff.
Rapunzel says, next episode, don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are faster than you can believe. Don't you turn your back. Don't look away.
Don't.
I loved that first one of the angels. Sorry.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, what was it? The oh gosh, yeah. Just blink. That's the episode name, right?
Yeah. Right.
God. I just saw John Burns's new super chat. My God.
Sure, your husband might have something to say about that, but
It's always fun to watch Nina blush.
Embarrassing.
Thank you, John
Oh
Burns.
my God. Thanks, John Burns. Thanks so much.
Guys, again, Katie, just tell us real quick again what's coming up on So Many Fandoms.
Absolutely. So I'm in the works, Doctor Who fandom forecast. Sometime, hopefully this week, I'll be posting a Star Trek tribute video that I've been working on for a very long time. And then on Saturday, myself and two of my storm chasing buddies are doing a Chaser Chronicle, where we talk about all the times that we almost died, probably should have died, and some of the weirdest things that have happened to us.
Katie, you're so funny.
And Nina Infinity, what about you? What's coming up on Nina's channel? And congrats on monetization.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Everybody go give Nina her next stream a super chat if you haven't done so yet.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you guys, especially you, PJ, because like you got me over that 1,000, and then everything just happened after that. And I appreciate you guys. So
you did
much.
it. You did
Dark
it.
Mondays has been amazing.
And thanks to John and John Talks, who helped you out a lot.
Of course, which is actually what I'm going to plug right now. On Wednesday, John and I are going to be doing Infinite Talk on my channel for the first time since I got monetized now. So, Wednesday on my channel for Infinite Talk, everybody. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Dega, do you want to say anything about anything coming up?
You know what? This week is going to be bad because I'm moving. Everything's going to be torn down. Won't be able to do anything. Won't even be able to put out a chapter this Sunday. However, hopefully, because I have it already, I have it's a little bit better than a mock-up. I may share it with you guys first, the cover of The Blood Witch, my book that'll be coming out.
Wow. Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah. Plus, I got a movie prop maker guy who's making a model, and I've seen the early version of it, and I'm just blown away. And it's different than anything else of Big, short for Bio-Integrated Gunship, which is one of the main ships in my books.
Ooh.
Joe, did you mention, is there anything coming up? Are you on any podcasts, or is there anything you want to mention?
Not right now. I just did recorded my first episode of a podcast for The Companion. It's a Stargate related podcast called Gator's Gonna Rate, where we fans will weigh in on everything from greatest spaceship battle to best guest villain. And the first episode, we are talking about the greatest hand-to-hand combat sequence in Stargate history. So we'll be doing a counting down of top 5 and having a special guest star put in an appearance as well.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. So wait for that. I'm not sure when that will drop. Soon, though.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Dega. Nate knows. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for the portrait, Peggy. We appreciate it.
That was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see it because I was like, can I see it?
Oh, you gotta see it.
I will put it up for the end.
It glows in the dark.
Oh, yeah. And it glows in the dark. I didn't realize. That's cool.
Oh,
You got to show us a
cool.
picture of that in the dark, Peggy. I'll put it on Twitter. Thank you, Matt Ryan, Dr. Alex. Oh, Dr. Alex. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Alex. Sarah Jett, everybody who's been in here, Sound Engraver, Kareen, John Burns, thank you for the super chats. Jeff Beeler, thank you for the super chats. TT, Susanna, Colin, everybody who has been in here, thank you, everybody. You guys have a great night. Be safe. Great morning, great night, wherever you are.
Cheesy smiles.
I just smashed my elbow against the desk.
Oh, no. It's night over for you.
Like Barbie at the end of Toy Story 2. Are they gone? Are they all gone?
Trying to like not swear, like mother. Ooh! Oh my God! Is that it? Is that the picture?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so nice. It's inspiring.